The flow of blood in the body is the flow of happiness and joy. So when the heart or circulatory system are having problems, this is an indication that life is not flowing with this degree of joy and happiness that is its nature. So I'm just looking into the audience, looking at the circulatory systems of the physiology, looking at the intelligence of the circulatory system, the heart, veins and arteries, flow of blood, transport of materials. This overseeing intelligence in charge of your circulatory system is receiving a download of information regarding how to self-position, how to first self-define, and based on self-definition, how to self-position in a point of balance between negativity and positivity. Life has to have both. Life has to have those blissful moments and those less blissful moments. But we as humans experience the bliss and the suffering in a linear fashion, and the reality is the depths of the soul and the heart experience everything at the same time. The heart knows the eternal story of the soul. As such, it responds to situations from the perspective of wholeness. I'm looking at the principle of articulation of that experience. Sometimes the heart feels crushed because the ability to express the truth of the heart, which is really the truth of the soul, because it's your deepest inner truth, is the heart truth. That ability is a little bit crushed, or is a little bit dampened down through feelings of insecurity or incompetence, inability to successfully or progressively articulate the heart's truth. But even if a person doesn't have a voice, even if they're not good at verbally articulating the heart's truth, that's not going to stop the heart and the circulatory system from functioning effectively. Maybe in the long run, it could be a contributing factor, but more importantly is the internal recognition of the heart truth. So, truth matrix, applying to the heart and into all the valves, each of the valves. So every time the blood flows through a valve, it flows through a truth matrix. The heart chakra, which is in the center, is actually in some ways closely related to the immune system, because the thymus actually sits at the point of the heart chakra. Doesn't matter. It's all good. It's all being addressed. It's all being addressed. I'm seeing a release of discordant feelings. There's almost a kind of cathartic, like pleasure and pain at the same time feeling going on in the heart as a result of being recognized and acknowledged and appreciated, which is what's happening in this healing session. This comes from not only appreciating the heart as a physical organ and in its physicality in the body, its relationship to the other parts of the body, but even more so a recognition of that deep inner intelligence, which is the essential natures, the truth is the deepest truth of the heart. That quality of intelligence has it not only holds the key for reasons why the heart would fall ill and the circulatory system would become ill, but also it has the key for producing all of the antidotal elements which heal the heart. So antidotes, the antidotes, the antidotes. The antidotes are very old. I'm feeling them. And this is coming from you, not from me. When I went into this healing, I didn't have a big plan. I'm just reading what's coming energetically from the collective, from my sweet collective. Ancient wisdom. And many stories, many experiences that the feeling structures of the physiology have traversed, many journeys they have traversed over the course of centuries and centuries. And in that process, you have experienced all the answers to all the questions that you might have. And any confusion in the heart is cleared through this process. And if you're not sure, if your heart really isn't sure which way to move, then the trick or the secret, the algorithm, is to take a step forward on that path first in a virtual way. First, just the thought of taking the step on the path. Have a thought of, well, what if I tried it this way? What if I approach this person that I would like to mend a relationship? Or what if I put myself out towards somebody that I would like to start a relationship? Or even what if I take the step and the chance of healing my own relationship with myself, right? So first thing is to just have the thought of that. And with the thought comes a feeling, an awareness, sometimes a wisdom thought, sometimes a perception of beauty or sweetness, sometimes a little bit of a turning of awareness or perception inward. And if you have anything like that, and there could be other ways that it expresses itself for you because everybody's different, but anything like that is a validation from the field of being, from the larger level of self. So that validation means, yes, move again in that direction. You can take another little step in that direction, and it supports the ability to successfully traverse unknown territory. The heart doesn't need to be afraid. Clearing fear through many generations of ancestors. Fear of not liking oneself, basically. Fear of being in situations where one feels compromised, or somehow there's some cultural or social norms which work out of favor of the individual. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Those experiences that aren't as much fun are just as important as the experiences that are blissful, because every experience, if it's on one end of the spectrum or another, is providing a point of reference so that you can find balance in the center. This is the important thing. When one self-positions at the point of balance, then the positive and negative forces of creation work together like an engine to push and pull and churn the field of consciousness, and thus produce the energy field necessary to support the outcome of that balance. And that balance is your alignment with your own divinity, the highest, purest aspect or expression of self. May your heart always feel blissful.